What's up, everybody on YouTube? Welcome to episode 52 of the Bros Talking Soccer podcast, our 1 year anniversary. Christian and Matt are together for Thanksgiving. Guys, say hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. All right, we all have things going on, so I think we're going to jump right into it. I'm rocking my Borussia Dortmund scarf because they need some support right now because they are in absolute free fall. So there's a little extra content for you on the YouTube vids. Guys, you ready to jump into the podcast?
Yes.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 52, our 1 year anniversary episode of the Bros Talking Soccer podcast. As always, my name is Dave Knittel, here with my brothers Christian and Matt to discuss stories from around the soccer world. Christian, how you doing today?
I've been better, Dave. The Liverpool game today made me want to shoot myself in the face, but things could be worse.
Well, I'm glad you didn't, and things could absolutely be worse. Way to be positive, I guess. Matt, how are things going with you?
Things are going pretty well, Dave. Raheem Sterling, you ever heard of him? He won the game for us.
Well, that is good. Guys, I am doing well. Thank you both for asking. I just really appreciate you guys caring about my well-being. And so I'm doing well. Christian, do you have our trivia question for this week?
I do have a trivia question this week, Dave. I really appreciate you asking me that. We just all are appreciative of each other.
Yeah, it is Thanksgiving week, so.
And we're just really thankful. All right, so here's a question this week. Crouch broke the record for the most substitute appearances this weekend. With 143. Which player has scored the most goals from the bench?
As a substitute.
It's not Crouch, I'll tell you that.
From the bench or
from the bench?
As a substitute?
Yeah, hold on. Wait, let me think.
As a substitute. No, listeners can figure that out. I have confidence in our listeners to be able to figure out what the hell you actually meant. So, okay, good trivia question. We will think on that. Was it a player or are you asking for the player's name or is it amount?
It was a player and
okay.
He's famous.
Okay, so you're asking for a name. Cool, got it. Before we get to our topics here, I wanted to give a quick plug for Fan Futsal. So I'm the founder of Fan Futsal, simplified fantasy soccer website. You select 5 clubs instead of 8 to 11 individual players, and our scoring is incredibly simplified too. If you're listening to this, you're likely a soccer fan, and we make fantasy soccer fun and easy for all soccer fans. This week, we have a bumpy pitch tournament kicking off again, where you can win a $20 gift card to the Bumpy Pitch online store. So Bumpy Pitch is a soccer clothing company. They make awesome shirts. And so join that for free. And if you end up winning it, you will get a $20 gift card for free. So good luck, everyone. Definitely check that out. FANFUTSAL.com. Let's get to our topics. First topic, MLS and the Columbus Crew, that whole situation. So for those who don't know, the owner of the Columbus Crew, Anthony Precourt, is trying to basically move Columbus Crew to Austin, Texas. There was a meeting this past week between MLS, Columbus Crew owner Anthony Precourt, and the mayor of Columbus. That meeting did not go well. So we will link to the Save the Crew letter in our show notes. All soccer fans should go sign that. It's a really, really important thing to keep everyone in Columbus. But guys, Christian, what did you make of this meeting, how poorly it went, and just Precourt's whole thing with how he's approaching moving the team out of Columbus?
It's really sad, to be honest, that all this is kind of happening, and it doesn't seem like it's very amicable the way people are going about it. It seems like a lot of hostility between both the fans, the owners, everyone involved in this situation.
Well, yeah, I don't know how it could be amicable.
Well, I know, but it just seems like it's just spiraling out of control and getting worse and worse. And it's unfortunate because this is a club that has a lot of history in MLS and really is of substantial size, I'd say, although it's probably in the worst city in the country.
Listeners, he's saying that because he went to Penn State and Ohio State's there, just so we don't get anybody freaking out about Columbus.
I just think that they could have done this a better way, and I don't even know if they really need to move, but at the present moment, I would say it looks like they're going to need to get out.
Well, I think it's more just the owner needs to. So I disagree with that they need to just get out. I think they need to stay and the owner needs to move on. I mean, I don't see this situation resolving itself, and I think ultimately the team's going to move to Austin, but this whole situation rubs me the wrong way, and I'm going to go blue here. It's fucking bullshit what this owner is doing and what he's done over the last couple of years since he has gotten the club. Matt, what is your take on this whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's sad. Columbus, it's a great place to play. I know the national team does well there. The Columbus has so much history with the MLS, but I mean, if they can do better financially in a different market, I'm not entirely against it.
How are you not entirely against it?
No, I've said if they can do better financially. Okay, well, I would understand a little bit more. It is a business at the end of the day, and the owner does have to make money. The league, but also I want to say, Columbus has a really good development, right? A bunch of good players come from Columbus. Am I wrong or?
A couple have. I mean, they have Will Trapp, who's come through their academy, and they have an established academy system. I don't know if they're a hotbed, so to speak, but they definitely have an academy system.
Okay. I was just wondering if the development there is significantly better than in Austin, or if Austin's significantly better there, because I feel like losing your team is gonna, hurt the development, the whole town around, maybe a little bit down on soccer. But also Austin, I feel like it's a whole new market where there's going to be more development in that area because, they get a professional soccer team and then the community goes watches soccer and it just becomes bigger than that.
Yeah,
Texas
but
as a whole has a bigger community to pull from, and it's probably a larger talent pool.
likely, but that doesn't mean that you have to take the team from Columbus and move them there. You can expand into Austin if that was a market that they wanted to move into. To take basically, Columbus Crew was the first MLS franchise. They were the first one to get awarded a team. They were the first ones from MLS to build a soccer-specific stadium in the late 90s. And all of this is owner basically Precourt wanting to hit Austin, which is the biggest population or the biggest metropolitan area without a first professional division team in any of the major sports. And also just the market size is bigger. And it's just, this whole situation is just terrible because he's been setting it up to do this since he acquired the team in 2013. It's just been kept it quiet and has been quietly going about whether it's sandbagging attendance figures or sandbagging sponsorship deals. And it's just, and so that financially it makes it look like Columbus is this terrible sort of area, but in actuality, they have the most history. They're a really successful team and that they have fans there that this team could support or that could support this team and financially they could be viable. So I absolutely hate this whole situation.
Is he from Austin?
I think he has ties to Texas. So I think that there's a logic behind that. But I think it still underscores the fact that he's basically circumventing paying an expansion fee. He paid about $70 million for the Columbus Crew and is moving them to Austin, Texas. Whereas if they had to put an expansion franchise in Austin, Texas right now, they're paying at least $150 million plus all of the additional money for stadium and all of that other stuff. So I think I don't understand how this makes sense from an MLS perspective. So anything else to add, guys? I know I'm heated up over this.
Nope.
Nah.
All right. Again, we will link to the Save the Crew letter. Everybody should go check that out. Sticking in MLS, let's go to the Pacific Northwest. Caleb Porter, one of the most successful coaches, well, you could kind of say that. He's had a good tenure over the last 5 years. I don't know. It may be a little bit generous to call him one of the best 5 coaches in the league. But he recently left the Portland Timbers. They finished first in the West this past year. It wasn't a firing, wasn't a resignation. He just kind of left, and they were okay with him leaving. Matt, what do you make of Porter leaving the Timbers after 5 years, fairly successful years?
I mean, I was fine with that. I mean, I knew that Portland's been good these last couple of years. So, and I know they have a huge crowd. They have great fans there. So that was about the extent I knew about Portland. I was scrolling on Twitter after it happened. I saw tweets I think it was maybe you retweeted something saying how this is actually a big deal for the MLS. Him leaving. It was something like that.
I think it was just so surprising because it came seemingly out of nowhere. But continue.
Yeah. So I didn't realize how successful he was, and I really don't know other than was it Valeri. I don't really know any of the
Nagby.
Fernando Adi.
Nagby. You know Nagby.
Nagby's there now? Oh,
Nagby's been there his entire professional career.
Wow, the more you know. The more you know.
Yeah, that's the biggest MLS fan out of all of us, guys.
Yeah.
In case you can't understand that, listeners.
I mean, it's just interesting to see how well Portland's going to do, and if it was really like him coaching or if the players he was given were great. I'm just like, but like how many years have they been a team? Was he their coach the whole time?
No, the first 2 years, I believe they were in the league. They had somebody else, but he's been there the longest as an MLS franchise.
Oh yeah, and then I'm just interested to see like how well like teams turn over in the MLS with like coaching changes. Whereas like we know in Europe how well like you see like it's either disastrous or sometimes a coach can fix things. So I think it's just interesting to see how teams can cope with that.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just middle of the pack. That's life. Goldilocks. Write that down, everyone. Christian, what were your thoughts on the Portland? Portland Timbers Caleb Porter situation.
I just don't really understand how someone's just like walks out. I guess you can do that, but when you're working under contract, you can't do that or you're under fine. This is a weird situation, but I respect the fact that the Timbers aren't really punishing him for doing it. I think that he served his time well. They made the team a solid team. They never really became that pinnacle elite, I don't think, under his tutelage. Yeah.
Good word. That's a great word.
I don't think it makes a lot of sense because I haven't really been paying attention to the rumors, but is he considering some other job right now?
So the rumors are that he was just burnt out and needed a year off. He's fairly young in his coaching career and is just taking some time off to reevaluate things, a la Pep Guardiola.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I knew you were. That's why I jumped in instead of first.
Pep or Klopp did it as well. I can understand that. A lot of people go through that. And like 5 years in, I mean, I just looked at my my contract for my new company that I'm working for, and after 5 years, we get a sabbatical. So, I mean, no big deal. Yeah. But
nice that you're already evaluating that.
Yeah, obviously, I'm looking into that. I just think that 5 years of high pressure situations, such as being in the world of athletics, really, really does take a toll on you. And it becomes very difficult to handle. And sometimes people can't take it for that long. They do need a break, but they do come back. And after reevaluating it, you might come back with a little more
perspective.
Yeah, that's really how I would describe it. And I think it's probably going to be good for him. I didn't know if he was being considered for the U.S. job or anything, and that's why I didn't know if he was leaving for that.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard his name rumored, but I would be shocked if he got the job over a lot of other people.
He hasn't proven himself, I don't think, at that level yet.
No, especially with him failing to qualify with the Olympic team.
Yeah. And so, I he's had a lot of experience coaching younger players. He was at Akron first, right?
Yep.
And that's a huge soccer school.
Well, because of him. He built them into that. They were nothing before, they were nothing like that.
You can use that experience to really develop youth, and he seems to have done that pretty well.
No, he has not. So one of his knocks, at least from an MLS perspective, he has not developed youth very well, but he should have because of his experience with the Olympic team and his experience at Akron, but he hasn't lived up to that for one reason or another. I am with you. I think it's a good thing for him taking this sabbatical. I just found it very, very odd. Reading on Twitter some of the rumors, apparently he is a very big personality. The owner, Merritt Paulson, is a very big personality, and I think maybe the sporting director is a big personality too. So it may have just been a clash and may have just been good for everyone to go their separate ways. Christian, something else to add?
Nope.
You're just talking on mute?
Yeah, well, you were talking really fast, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was told you have places to be, so I'm trying to be helpful for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. All right, guys, anything else to add on this topic before we go to the second segment?
Nope.
All right, listeners, you're going to hear some music. We'll be right back in your ears, though, with our second segment. Stick with us.
Stick with us.
Stick with us. God damn it.
So close.
I know. God, so close. All right, guys, ready to roll? I'm going to go into Ronaldo and then that Sunderland Millwall goalkeeping masterclass.
Oh, you're going into Ronaldo?
Yeah. You know, Welcome back, listeners, to our second segment, jumping right into things here because Christian has places to be. Let's talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. Saw on Reddit, and we'll link to the post here, that Cristiano Ronaldo has not made a single tackle or interception in any match in La Liga over this season. He is one of 6 players in the league, the other 5 being 4 goalkeepers and a player who has never started a match this season. Christian, what do you make of Ronaldo's defensive? I don't even know what to call it. Just non-defense.
Is anyone really surprised by this? Over the past how many years have you seen this happen?
I'm a little surprised by this. It's like 12 matches in, and he doesn't have a single tackle or interception.
One, he missed the first 5 games of the year, so I guess you can give that to him. Regardless,
Okay,
that is absolutely unforgivable. I just don't understand. I understand he is being used as more of a striker, just out on the left wing at this point. They just want him to attack. And he has been much better about creating chances for his teammates, as he's only scored 1 goal in La Liga this year. But he has a bunch of assists, and he actually broke the assist record for the Champions League today. Fun fact.
Really? That's a good fact.
27th assist today in the Champions League. But he really just does not work back, and we've seen it for years. And yeah, it's surprising that he has 0, but at the same time, it's not surprising to me at all because every year he's gotten less and less, and it just comes with age, less and less mobile, and he's saving his energy now.
Okay. Do you excuse him for doing that then?
Nope.
Okay. Matt, what's your take on this whole Ronaldo defensive situation?
Yeah. So I don't necessarily excuse him as as the player, but like as a person. I mean, he just won. He coming off back-to-back Champions Leagues. He just won Euro. Like, what else does this guy have to play for? He's got 4 Ballon d'Ors. I feel like he just doesn't care at this point.
He has to play for
He's a professional.
Yeah, I know, but he's Ronaldo. Like, you know how much he's done for that club, and just the way I look at it.
You are excusing it. You said you're not going to excuse it, and then you proceeded to excuse.
No, as a player, you got to finish it. But as a person, it's I completely understand that.
Well, clearly he's saving his energy for the bedroom since he said he wants to have a bunch more kids with a bunch more women.
Okay. All right. Things took a turn during that conversation.
Yeah, so I understand. He's saving his energy for sex with lots of women.
Okay. All right. Okay. So glad we're very much on topic there. Yeah, I don't even know how to transition off of that. All right, let's go over to England, down into the championship here. Sunderland and Millwall played this past weekend, and the match was a goalkeeping masterclass. We will link to this video, but in case you can't understand, I am being sarcastic. Some of these goals are some of the most ridiculous goalkeeping errors I think you're ever going to see, and there were 4 in one match. Matt, what was your take on seeing all of these errors?
Yeah, I first when I first started watching, I thought it was just gonna be repeat of 1 or 2 highlights, and then just as it kept going on, I'm like, how is this happening? This is one game, and then each one was just better than the last.
And it's one game in the championship. It's not like a Sunday league or even 4th division. This is the level right below the Premier League.
Yeah, and it's Sunderland was in the Premier League last year, and there's a huge club in England, a lot of money where they can get a professional level goalie, and it's just funny to see that these goalies are still the same level where you would play when I was in high school, and you see you play against a team and you're like, what is this goalie doing? How is he even playing right now? And then seeing that's professional, I was like, why is this guy playing right now?
Yeah, and the funny thing was, it was both. It wasn't like it was all Sunderland's goalkeeper or all Millwall's. I mean, both goalkeepers were, I think, each made 2 terrible errors, which was crazy. Christian, thoughts on these goalkeeping errors?
Oh my God, I just watched him again and I just can't. It's so painful to see. This is probably the worst display of any type of player on the field that I've ever seen. When you make a mistake as a goalkeeper, you just get exposed, and that is what it is. But these are some of the worst mistakes I have ever seen. And to be honest, I'm not surprised to see it from Sunderland. And Millwall aren't really what I'd call a big club either. So it is not really
Shots fired.
But at this level, you can't be making those kinds of errors. And you could just see the fans in the background in the Stadium of Light all 6 of them that were there, as you could see from the empty seats, they did they did not enjoy it, and people were throwing their hands up, screaming at the keeper. But to be honest with you, if I was at the Union game and that happened, I'd be screaming too. But Andre Blake is Mr. Reliable, so I don't have to worry about that. This is just ridiculous, in my opinion, that the same goal was scored against Sunderland. It was the exact same goal on the free kicks. And he let it through his hands on the first one. And the second one, he hit his hands and he pushed it into the side netting. What? And then the last one is just a travesty. I don't know what the Millwall goalie was doing.
Yeah, that last one.
He just pushed it into the back of the net.
Yeah, it looked like a fair. I mean, yeah, it maybe had a weird spin, but the guy was driving to the end line. He crossed it, and maybe it had some weird like outer spin, even though he hit it with the inside part of his foot. But like, it looked like a fairly simple floated ball that the goalkeeper could have either just simply caught or maybe just punched if he wasn't comfortable. But he just palmed it into his own net.
It was like my con against North Korea in the World Cup a couple of years, but like 20 yards further out and chipped.
Yeah, and well, it wasn't even that because Maicon, like he hit a hard shot, and it was the goalkeeper may have been in a slightly bad position in the North Korea match, but the goalkeeper was in a fine position. He dove into his own net, it was so just inexplicable on so many levels.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm watching the last goal again with the cross, and it literally looks like a FIFA glitch where like the goalie was just like standing like on the goal line and then jumped into his own net.
And then he pushed the ball.
Yeah, he just like teleported into the net for no reason. The ball was in the ball was in play, and he ended up in his own net.
It just proved that
I don't know how that happened.
The FIFA physics really, really are correct. That just proves it.
There's a glitch in the Matrix, everyone, and that proves it.
We fixed the glitch.
We fixed the glitch. Okay, guys, anything else you wanted to add?
Nah.
Let's keep this podcast rolling along. Said it right this time. Listeners, you're going to hear a little bit more music. Stick with us, though. We will be right back. I said it right that time, guys. I said it right.
You're so articulate.
I know. I'm just so well-spoken, you know? All right, last segment, and then... last segment, and then other items. Going to go Kane, Moyes, and then West Ham fans basically calling England's version of 911. Okay.
Yep.
Welcome back, listeners. Third and final segment for you. All England, all the time in this segment. We were first up, stuttering over here. First up, we have Harry Kane. Recently came out and said he wanted to spend his whole career at Tottenham. Christian, what do you make of Harry Kane saying this? Do you believe that he will spend his whole career there?
Oh, this is a tough one. I do not. I believe he actually wants to. I do believe that very, very much. But I don't think that he will. I think the amount of money he's going to be offered and the prestige and world view he would get at somewhere like Real Madrid, who are heavily linked to him, is going to tempt him away. It is. It's another level. And Spurs, for as good as they've been the past couple of years, and their manager's good, the players around him are good, none of them, most of them are not world-class, what I call, and at a team like Madrid, you're getting that level, and I say that because, and no offense to Tottenham, they're not winning trophies. They haven't won a trophy under this manager or any of these players, I don't think. So he's not putting himself in the world view right now. Yes, he is because he's in the Premier League banging in goals, but you're not going to get to that elite level somewhere that's going to be remembered without being that.
Well said. Matt, what are your thoughts? Do you think Kane will be there his whole career?
Well, I think it's easy for him to say that he wants to stay now because things are going extremely well for him. I mean, he has 2 golden boots, right? Is it 2 or 3?
2.
2?
I think 2.
Yeah, 2 golden boots. He's still young. He's starting every time he's healthy. So like for him, it's a great situation right now and everything's going well. So obviously, like if things were going that well for me, I'd be like, oh yeah, I love it here. I'll stay here forever. But you never know with soccer and you know what's going to happen in the future. Dele Alli leaves, a couple other players leave. Lloris leaves. Maybe some of their center backs. Vertonghen's getting older. Alderweireld, he could leave, and then the team changes, and then what was it? Delph a couple years ago, and I hate always bringing this up, but saying he's going to stay. Benteke left 4 days later. He made like the video saying he's going to stay at Aston Villa. Benteke left 4 days later. He was at Man City, and so
Yeah, that wasn't a good look for him.
Yeah, so maybe you just can't trust the English.
That's the moral of the story. No, I agree with what you guys are saying. I think in his heart of hearts right now, he wants to stay, but the future is so unknown and so many factors can change. And I'm not going to hold this against him the way, Christian, you seem to do with any player that leaves a team that you support. Like, these guys, feelings can change, right? And it's going to be okay. If he does leave, you're going to get a truckload full of cash, Tottenham fans, and hopefully you spend it wisely, and hopefully it's not another Gareth Bale situation, although a handful of those players didn't end up working out. Anything else to add, guys?
No.
All right, cool. Let's keep moving along. Let's talk West Ham, who are just in a rough patch right now. So, new manager David Moyes recently basically came out and said, I'm going to, do my best these next 7 months, but if it doesn't work out, and they get relegated, I'll just go my own way. So, I'm paraphrasing here and we'll link to the actual quotes, but Matt, what do you make of Moyes coming out and being so blunt and saying this literally within the first couple of weeks of him taking over at West Ham?
Yeah, well, he was saying how, like the players' reputations, and they don't, like, from his first impression, it doesn't seem like they're living up to the reputations they have. Whether it's like just like you didn't name names, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like Joe Hart underperforming, maybe Arnautovic, Chicharito, Carroll, like they're big names in this team, and players that have been transferred for lots of money throughout the years, players that have been in team of the seasons and things of that nature. So it's just like interesting to see. Maybe he's trying to motivate them, saying like maybe play to your reputation. Maybe he was trying to do that, and maybe like the media spun it in a different way. But the way the media spun it did not seem good. It seemed like he just like didn't care, like how you were saying. So I guess you don't want your coach, it's like putting you down in his first week.
Yeah. And I did set that question up poorly because in addition to Moyes making the comments that I said, he also, what Matt's alluding to in the article that I linked to, he also came out and really criticized a lot of the players after their match and saying they basically didn't perform up to their reputation. So, Christian, what do you make of Moyes' comments, both about the players' reputation, but also about him just, basically giving it his best, and if it doesn't work out, whatever, he's going to be fine?
That lackadaisical attitude is not really what you're looking for when you're a club in relegation trouble. You want somebody who's in 100% and going to give their all and is really passionate about what they're doing. I think that's kind of what a lot of these West Ham players need. They need someone to kick them in the ass. Because you could tell players like Arnautovic, that guy just seems like a dick. When you look at him. He's like his face.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I could see that.
You need someone who's going to take these guys and shake them and be like, get your head on straight. You have too much talent to be wasting it with this poor of an attitude. You guys need to learn to play together as a team because right now we have too much individual quality that shines in moments, but you need to bring it all together because that team should be in the top half easily. They are a perfect 8-9 type of team, and that's where they should be falling right now.
Before the season started, I predicted them to finish 7th ahead of Everton. So that those two predictions are not looking good. I think Everton and West Ham are actually suffering. What's that, Christian?
We're probably going to finish above Everton.
Yeah, well, they still may finish above Everton, but just not in 7th. But I think both teams are actually suffering from a similar thing in that they brought in a ton of high-priced stars. I think my eyes got glazed over. My eyes got caught by these big-name players, and clearly they didn't integrate well, and the team is suffering from a chemistry perspective on that front. And it doesn't help when Moyes makes comments like this. So I always appreciate being candid, but you got to still know and understand how your words are going to be perceived, especially as the manager. Anything else? Is that a thumbs up? Those are thumbs ups. All right, we're good to keep going. Let's stick with West Ham. And you hear this a lot of times when big matches kind of happen. And West Ham fans apparently keep calling 999, which I believe is the emergency response system in England. It's basically their version of 911 to complain about the team's performance. I know fans are trying to be funny, but in reality, this is a fairly real situation that you probably shouldn't be calling emergency services for this. Christian, what's your stance here? Are you okay with them calling it and find it funny, or do they need to stop?
I feel like this is a common thing because I've read about this before in England. It's really ridiculous that they do it, though. I guess they don't have enough real crime over there, you know? That must be what it is. And they're trying to keep their emergency lines entertained in some way during the day. I'm actually up people. I'm just kidding. But it seems pretty ridiculous that that's happening.
Okay, so
Sorry, I got really distracted.
Yeah, give me. That's fine.
I just think that they need to stop doing that because they're taking up the time for something that could actually go wrong.
Okay,
and that's just really unreasonable to do.
All right, Matt, what's your thoughts on this? Are you okay with them calling 999, or need them to stop?
Not supporting it, but I'm not against it. Like, I'm not, hey, who am I to judge? You know, I'm just a regular old guy. You know, I'm not gonna tell you what you can and can't do, but you know, I don't suggest you do waste emergency lines time by complaining about your favorite sports team. But you know, if you got to do what you got to do.
All right, that's an interesting take on the situation. I fall more into line with Christian. Matt, I know you're joking, but yeah, they need to stop doing it. I mean, it's kind of funny maybe the first time you do it, but if you continually do it, which it apparently sounds like they keep doing it, I think they need to stop. All right, so knock it off, stop it. No, okay, all right, there we go. Yeah. All right, guys, anything else to add on this topic or any other topics? Christian, maybe?
Oh, I do have something I would like to mention. I'm so glad you brought this up. So today, I don't know if this was an official thing that was released, but I saw it all over the internet that UEFA released a team of the century. So for the 21st century so far.
17 years in. That seems like a gross overstatement to call 17 years the century. I know it is technically correct.
They called it that. That wasn't me. I didn't come up with that. But yeah, this is what they have so far. I'll tell you what it is, and then you guys can just give a couple points on what you think. So they have Casillas in goal, Ramos at right back, PK and Puyol is the center back partnership, Lam at left back, which he never played, but I understand why they put him there. Iniesta, Xavi, and Steven Gerrard, for those of you who are classless and don't know who that is. And Henry up on the left wing, Messi in the middle, and Ronaldo on the right wing.
I mean, my thoughts are I'm surprised. So as much as I love Stevie G, I don't know if he's team of the century. I mean, I'm struggling to really off the top of my head come up with a better center midfielder, but I don't know. I'm just nervous about him over Zidane. Like, I guess is Zidane too late in his career? I mean, I would probably put him in there. And then I'm also surprised that Casillas over Buffon. Casillas probably hit a higher peak, but Buffon has sustained it over a longer period of time, which I feel like a team of the century should take into account.
Has Buffon ever won a Champions League?
No.
Maybe they took that into account.
Yeah, I mean, it is UEFA.
Yeah. So
he won the World Cup, though. So
did Casillas.
I know. I understand that.
So Matt was probably just pointing out that maybe they took that into account. But Christian send me the link and I will send it to all you podcast listeners for you to check out. We'll put it in the show notes along with everything. Christian, anything you want to add on it?
Oh, okay. I was about to say, so we're just not going to get my opinion.
No. Hey, I care about you. All right.
I really don't have many issues with this. I think the front line is weirdly positioned. I think Henry should be in the middle, Messi on the right, and Ronaldo on the left. But that doesn't really matter. I think those are probably the three best attacking players that I've seen over the last however long. You can argue that maybe Suarez has been in there. Neymar's been really good recently, but he's young. Ronaldinho was about to be what I said next.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put Ronaldinho in there.
Only lasted maybe 3 years at the peak of his ability, so
Exactly.
I don't can say that. The back line, I honestly have zero issues with. I think those are probably the 4 best defenders I've seen in my time. You can maybe argue someone like Nesta or someone from Maldini from Milan could be in there, but this back line for Spain and Barcelona, Madrid, Bayern Munich they've just been outstanding. And in goal, I really don't agree with Casillas. He had been there, won it all, and he probably was the best keeper I've seen at one time, but over the entirety of his career, I don't think he had that longevity.
You pick him over Neuer at their peaks? You put Casillas over Neuer?
I was going to say Neuer's the best I've ever seen.
I honestly don't know about that. Casillas was very, 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 very good. And it's hard to say. I think they're very different type of keepers. Neuer is incredibly talented. He is the best probably that I've seen over a long period of time. Casillas kind of just died when he turned 30, I felt like. So I don't know what happened to him, but still, I think that this team is probably as close to accurate as you're going to get from a UEFA selection.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, Casillas is still playing for FC Porto, I believe, domestically. He didn't play in their Champions League match that I watched earlier, but he is still getting game time.
Also, I don't know why I mentioned Neymar and Ronaldinho, because this is only European players, obviously. It's UEFA.
You have Messi.
Never mind. There we go. So there's only one. There's only one.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to mention a couple of things. Tony Pulis was sacked by West Brom, not West Ham. West Brom, I found that to be pretty surprising. I know they're struggling this year, but still a little bit shocked that they've pulled the trigger there. It'll be interesting to see who they get to replace. Matt, Christian, any thoughts there real quick?
Well, I hate West Brom for, I don't know why it's been like this for years. I just think they're a very boring team. And every time I pick fan futsal, I'm just always against West Brom. I don't know, it's nothing they did. It's just the way they played the last couple of years. I guess the jerseys and just just everything about them. Just from an outside view, I just hated West Brom. So it's good for me.
Yeah, it's a good strategy in fan futsal. Christian, anything you want to add real quick?
I don't think so. I think it was.
Benevento had they set the all-time record losing streak. I don't know if it's world or at least European losing streak for the top flight. They have lost 13 consecutive matches to start the Serie A season. So they have that on one record. Fun fact, do you guys know who had the record previously?
Leicester.
Quick. Leicester. Quick, Christian.
No.
Quick. Manchester United. Amrabat. And the last video we had here, this is absolutely hilarious. We will put it in the show notes. I don't remember his first name, but Amrabat takes the kickoff in a La Liga match and he just starts dribbling as if it was, in no situation is that ever okay. It's never an indirect free kick or direct free kick. You can do that. So I don't know what the heck was going through his head. So that was hilarious to see. Guys, have you seen it? Any thoughts there?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think maybe he was trying to pull a fast one on the ref. It's just extreme. You thought he was training. You score a goal, you roll it out from the keeper and you just go. He just went, and none of his teammates moved. They're like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" It was just to watch.
Yeah, so that was pretty funny. Christian, thoughts?
I was not paying attention.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Christian, recap our trivia question for everybody, and we'll give our guesses.
The trivia question this week is: who in the Premier League has scored the most goals as a substitute?
Okay, Matt, do you want to give? And how many goals? Matt, do you want to give your guess?
Who scored the most? I want to say Emmanuel Adebayor.
Okay, that's not a bad one. I'm going to go Ruud van Nistelrooy. I think he started most of the matches, but I know he scored a bunch, and I'm just throwing one out there that's pretty random. So I have absolutely no idea. Christian, give us the answer.
What? Sorry, what did you say?
I said Emmanuel Adebayor.
And you said what?
Ruud van Nistelrooy.
The answer is Jermaine Defoe.
Oh, that's a good one.
23. And the second most after that is 17.
Who scored that?
Let me just pull it up for 1 second. Sorry. I think Victor and Ishibi was one of them. There was 2 people at that.
Oh, okay. And he's still young, but yeah, he's mainly coming off the bench.
Just a lie. I just lied straight to your face. Victor Anichebe has the second most substitute appearances. It is Kanu and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, however you pronounce
Ole
it.
Gunnar Solskjaer?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Anichebe has the second most substitute appearances in Premier League history?
Victor Anichebe is not the name. It's Shola Amiobi. I apologize.
Okay. Oh my God. All right. You're all over the place here. Okay.
I don't know why I thought it was Anichebe.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So listeners, thanks for listening to our very special 1-year anniversary. Thanks for everybody who's been with us throughout the year. Hopefully, we're going to be doing this throughout the upcoming year and for many years to come. I know I'm having fun. Christian and Matt, I hope you guys are having just as much fun as me. We will link to all the stories in our show notes. We'll also tweet them out from our Bros Talking Soccer Twitter handle, which is at BT Soccer Pod. If you want to get in contact with us, our email is bros.talking.soccer@gmail.com. And everything was brought to you by Fan Futsal, FANFUTSAL.com. Go check that out. Play our bumpy pitch game. You could win $20 gift card. You just have to beat out 31 other people. That's it. Only that many. Christian and Matt, thanks for being here. Listeners, thank you. And we will talk to you guys next week. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Peace.
Bye. All right. Good stuff.
Everybody outside. So I can.
Okay. Everybody on YouTube, thank you guys for watching. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And we will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.